Hey folks, this is Anne-Marie from LSU Communication Across the Curriculum, and thanks for letting me be a part of your day. I'm going to talk you through some of the resources that LSU CxC has available to you, and I'm also going to provide some tips associated with video conferencing that we hope you find helpful during this remote learning period. So let's get started. First off, in a normal semester, I'd probably be telling you about the physical locations that you can come visit us in. You can meet one-on-one with studio team members, you can check out equipment, or you can actually reserve spaces in the studios themselves to work on projects. That's obviously not happening right now because we are experiencing remote learning. But don't worry, there's good news. There's still resources available for you. You can head to cxc.lsu.edu to access online writing support, support for communication intensive course projects, and to access tips for effective communication via remote learning. We'll start a few of those now related to video conferencing. So, tip one, every professor is going to use video conferencing differently, which means that you cannot expect the same rules of usage to apply across the board. And if the professor or the TA or the group moderator or your team member is not setting those guidelines in advance, ask for them because that's going to help set the meeting up for success. Secondly, set up your space. Your tech, the setting that you're in, and the times that you can control for are all important things to be building out ahead of time. Are you going to be using shared devices, or are there other people in your house who are also going to be using the internet at the same time as you are? Are you going to be predominantly using a phone or a tablet? Do you have a space in your house that you can set specifically for video conferencing? And are there other people in the house that you're going to need to schedule around? With all those things in mind, you can then make a plan and you can put things in your calendar so that you're structuring and scheduling yourself, and so that you're proactively communicating with the folks you're supposed to be conferencing with so they're aware of your limitations. And then even if everything is optimized, log in early. And I promise you, you will be grateful for those extra few minutes to troubleshoot the tech that you could not plan to have issues for. Tip number 4, make sure in the video conference that they know you're there. And again, this is going to be customized to the person who is setting up that meeting or that class time, but there's a lot of different ways you can show that you are still engaged. You could, if you have your video on, have engaged body language and provide nods in response, or a thumbs up, or a yay, or a wave, right? You could also type things into the chat channel based on prompts that the moderator's given you. Or you could submit responses to polls that were put out through the video conference. Some of you might unmute your mics and actually just orally share out the way that you would in a face-to-face class. And then some folks might enable quick response buttons like a little thumbs up or a wave, and you can use those too. Tip number 5, remember that your background, your profile picture, your clothing, and your username are all a part of how you communicate in this medium. In ideal conditions, you would have a luxurious background that looks hyper polished, super professional. But in a real setting, if you can't control for that, just try to have something that's neutral in the background so that the focus can be on you rather than on what's behind you. Additionally, depending on the purpose of the class or the meeting, it could potentially be an interview, make sure that you understand in advance what the appropriate clothing requirements are so that you can plan accordingly. Tip number 6, do not multitask. Be 100% focused on that video meeting. If you're able to do that for this video meeting, what it means is you're closing all of your other browser windows, you're putting your phone away if you're not using it, you're telling the folks that you live with to not bother you for the period of time that you have to be on the call so that you can appropriately absorb and engage and really dial down into the most important elements that you need to be aware of in that meeting itself. And if you can do that, be 100% into that video conference, that means that when you're done, you can 100% close out all the things associated with that video conference and get back to doing other things as well. So it works in both capacities for you. Tip number 7, ask for clarification when you need to, and ideally in real time. This goes back to some of those engagement tips. Are you going to use a quick response button to raise your hand? Or are you going to ask a quick question in a chat channel? Ask for the guidelines about what the most appropriate way is to ask for clarification in real time, and then do not be shy about doing it, because getting the question answered sooner than later is going to help you and likely help the other folks in the meeting as well. I will caution you, however, be wary of unproductive chatter in the chat box, excessive use of emojis, or poor timing with using other features. The benefit to video conferencing is that you can plan ahead, which means that while in one setting, you might be aware of the fact that using a simple thumbs up is exactly what that person has asked of you. But if you haven't already, you might notice that other people begin to notice, maybe I can also include this emoji if I'm just really happy about being here. Or I 100% agree with what was just said in this chat. Or, oh, this is shocking and I've learned something new. Or perhaps I just like rainbows and grapes and who doesn't like penguins or Doge. And then it can quickly devolve into bigger questions about what kind of fun virtual backgrounds I might be adding. And then suddenly you find yourself being shrug emoji because you got so confused and in the weeds about all these things that you forgot what the meeting was supposed to be about. So I remind you, be wary of unproductive chatter in the chat box, excessive emojis, and poor timing with using other features. And then lastly, remember that this is new and weird for everyone, particularly in a remote learning setting. So be patient and kind with yourself and with others, because we will get through this together. Communication is the 21st century skill, and it plays a significant role in the way that we think critically and solve problems. A 2013 study from the Association of American Colleges and Universities determined that 93% of employers say a demonstrated capacity to think critically, communicate clearly, and solve complex problems is more important than a candidate's undergraduate major. Now, if you want to be an engineer, you probably need to have a degree in engineering, but the point remains. The time that you take to cultivate communication skills helps you foster creative problem solving and critical thinking, and it sets you apart, it sets you ahead, and it helps you make it through trying times like these. You are doing this work right now in ways that you're not even aware of. So take the time to take a deep breath and acknowledge that, and be kind to yourself and patient with yourself and others. And lastly, remember that we are here for you, and together we can do this. So when you're ready, head to cxc.lsu.edu, and we'll be there waiting so that we can connect. And take care of yourselves.